Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our second class of this advanced English course. Please confirm if you can hear me.
Yes,
Yes,
teacher,
teacher,
I
I
hear
hear
you.
you. Good afternoon, everybody.
Good
Yes, we can
afternoon.
hear you.
Thank you, Omar.
Hello, Benai. Hello,
Hello.
Jedi.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Mr. Tabari, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. It was
Okay,
nice to meet you.
I hope you be very, I don't remember that words. Don't be shy to this class, please.
Yes.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, don't be shy. Don't be shy, okay? Okay, guys, so for this afternoon, we have our next class. We're going to review our past exercises. Remember that on the platform you have a test and that you have until 11:59 p.m. Okay, tonight.
Teacher,
Yes.
excuse me. I have a question about that test.
Yes.
That test is about the last the last class,
Yes.
or it's about anything.
No.
Or there is a test.
Every test is based on our previous class. So
Excellent.
that test is based on our Wednesday's class. Okay.
Perfect.
Tonight
Thank
you will
you.
have another test available. Well, not tonight, tomorrow, because I don't want you to mix them up. So tomorrow in the morning you will have a new test. That new test is going to be based on today's class.
Excellent.
And
Thank
you
you.
will have until Wednesday at 11:59 again to do it. Remember, you will have two practices. Two practices during the week. After every class, there will be a practice, a test. It will have the same characteristics. Choose the correct answer, match. It will have some reading with questions to evaluate your understanding of the text. Okay?
Perfect. Perfect.
Okay, so let's begin. I'm going to share my screen with that being said. Let's begin reviewing our exercises. Okay? Reviewing our exercises. Okay, so in our last class, we were talking about the use of the modal verbs with the past participle. So let's start with our first exercise. Okay, so the dynamic is simple, guys. I will ask for some of you voluntarily to tell me the answer, for example, for number one. Okay, remember that here you were supposed to fill these blank spaces using should. So all the answers have should. Okay, so who can read number one?
Me, teacher.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Go to the exercise, teacher. Number one, you, ta, ta, ta.
Yeah,
That's
here.
directed to exercise.
Can you see it?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, I see. You study harder from the test. The correct is you should study harder for the test.
Very well. You should study harder for the test. Please, Honai, could you please tell me number two as well?
Yes. The answer.
Yeah, the answer. You
Okay.
can just read the answer like she, the modal verb, and the rest of the sentence.
Okay. She should tell the truth.
Okay.
She should tell the truth.
Truth. Okay. She should tell the truth. Okay. Very well. Easy peasy. Let's continue with number three and number four. Who wants to read number three and number four? Okay, Jedi, it's your turn.
You can hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. The number three is they shouldn't leave so early.
Okay.
So Can I say the four?
Yeah, number 4 too, please.
Number four, he should call his parents.
Very well. Excellent. So they shouldn't leave so early. And number 4, he should call his parents. Okay. Okay. Let's continue with number 5 and number 6. Tell me, Omar, number 5 and number 6.
Okay, number 5 and number 6.
Yes.
We should have prepared better. And I shouldn't have eaten so much.
Okay. Okay. In this case, Omar, we're not using for this exercise. In the other,
Oh, sorry. I don't have to use have.
no, because it's not a past modal structure. It's just using should as an advice.
Yeah. Yes, I got it. I'm sorry. Repeat again.
Okay. Perfect.
We should prepare better. And I shouldn't eating so much.
Okay. I shouldn't eat so much. Shouldn't eat.
Eat.
Yeah, remember that we use the past participle only when we have the auxiliary. Okay, when we have the auxiliary have. Okay,
Okay.
I don't know if you remember the rule about the modal verbs, but remember, modal verbs can be paired. Modal verbs can't be paired with a verb that is not in its base form. Okay, that's why Americans have to use have in order to make a past modal structure, because in that way the have is the one articulating the past participle. It's not directly the modal verb. So modal verbs, that is like a pretty important rule when it comes to them. You have to use the modal verb followed by a base form always. They don't allow any change. Okay, so don't forget that. Okay, let's continue with number 7 and number 8. Okay, Yarais, tell me number 7, number 8.
She should listen to the teacher. And number 8, they should bring their documents.
Documents. Okay, they should bring their documents. They should bring their documents. Okay, we only have 2 more remaining, number 9 and number 10. Somebody
Okay,
else?
me, teacher.
Okay, go ahead.
Me.
Your name is Edison. Go ahead.
Yeah, he shouldn't ignore the problems, and we should arrive earlier.
Perfect. He shouldn't ignore the problem, and we should arrive earlier. So all of these sentences are only giving advice. This is the normal structure that we use when we want to give an advice to someone in English. Okay? We have different ways of doing this in English. We can use could, we can use should, and we can use must. But those are used in different contexts. When you are speaking with an stranger, for example, or with someone that you don't have a good relationship with, we use could. You could help her. You could run. You could do it. When we have a close relationship, when we have trust with someone else, when we are close to someone else, we can use should. Doctors normally use should. You should stop doing this. And then we have must, that we can also use for an advice, but it has a stronger sense. The sense is stronger. So authority people with authority normally use must. For example, as a doctor, if I see that a patient needs to stop doing something because it's critical, it's affecting his or her health, I can say, you must stop smoking. You must stop. Because I am invested with authority, I can use must. But when we don't have that kind of relationship with someone else, at least in the US, we have to be careful when we use must, because it has this strong sense, and they don't feel good about it if you don't have the authority to tell them that. Okay, you here practicing with another person, with your partner, we won't notice the difference. Here it's the same. We understand could, should, and must practically in the same way because we don't live in the US. For us to take those cues and understand the feeling, we need to be there, spend time with them, and see how they react to those words. Okay, let's continue. Okay, so here we have to, now we are working with the past, right? With the past. Okay, in some cases we are working with the past, some cases we are not. So let's see. Here we have to correct. So if we have it's because we need to change the verb into the past participle. If we don't have, it's because we only have to change the verb into its base form. Pretty easy, pretty simple. Okay, who said me?
Honai
Okay, Honai.
said me.
Number 1 and number 2, Honai.
Okay, great. Number 1. You should have going home earlier. And second, you should have eaten breakfast.
Okay, Honai. In the case of the number 2, it is correct because here we have, so we only have to change the verb. In the case of the first one, we don't have have. Okay, we don't have in the structure. So the only thing you need to change is the verb into its base form because you have here a simple sentence using should. Got it?
And the correct is you should go home earlier.
Yes, that's it.
Okay.
So we have here two different exercises. Okay, if we have in the sentences only the verb and we don't have the auxiliary, just change the verb. But if we have the auxiliary and the verb, again, you have to change the verb now using the past participle. That is the idea of this exercise. So just to be clear, the first one is you should go home earlier, and the number 2, she should have eaten breakfast. Okay?
Teacher, excuse me, Omar. And the first sentences you said, when I use should, you need to put the verb in basis.
Yeah.
And base it. That's it.
Yeah.
Base form.
Yes, in the case when we have should, only should without the auxiliary, we need to change the verb into its base form. So go would be the base form here.
Okay. Thank you, teacher.
Always. Tell me, Omar, number 3 and number 4.
Okay, number 3, they should have done the work. And number 4, they should have spoken to her.
Very well.
Sorry, number 3 is they should have done the work.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes, that's correct. Okay, so number 3, they should have done the work because done is the past participle of the verb to do. And number 4, as Omar said, he should have spoken to her, which is the past participle. Okay, let's continue with Edison. Edison, number 5 and number 6.
Okay, number 5 is you should have studied more. Number 6, you should have bought the tickets.
Okay, in this case, we have we and I, okay? The pronouns. We should study more, and I should have bought the tickets. Okay? But the structures that you used were correct. So we should study more, and I should have bought the tickets. Okay, well done. Yeah. Buy, right, is an irregular verb, and bought is the past simple and the past participle of the verb. Okay, let's continue with number 7 and number 8. Tell me, Jadais.
The number 7 is she shouldn't, oh, bueno, she should not have that. And the number 8, I think they should have taken a taxi.
Okay, well done. So she should not have or shouldn't. Both are possible. She should not or shouldn't have said that. And number 8, they should have taken a taxi. Remember the movie Taken, which is the past participle of the verb take. Okay, number 9 and number 10, the last two. Number 9 and number
Me
10.
again.
Of course, Mike. Go ahead.
Number 9. He should have driven slower.
Okay.
10. We should have gone there.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
In the case of the past participle of drive, we have drive, drove, which is the past simple, and we have driven. He should have driven slower. Driven. Okay?
Okay.
Driven. So drive, drove, driven. And number 10, we should have, as you said, gone there. Okay? Pretty easy. Do you have any questions about this? Is this clear?
Teacher, is clear.
Okay.
The situation is when you put it together. You put a should, you put a have, you put a made, and you put it whatever. This is the problem. Thank you.
Okay. You get used to it, okay? You get used to it because here we have a mix of them. But the idea is to distinguish one from the other. That's the idea. Because in the test, they put them all together. You have to decide which structure you're going to use. So if you see have, you know that they're talking about a past modal. So you have to use the past participle. But if you don't see have, then they're talking about an advice. So you don't have to use the past participle, but in this case, the base form. Okay, let's continue with this one. Okay, so here we have the current translation. So, debiste estudiar más. How can I say that in English? Debiste estudiar más. And number 2, no debiste decir eso, okay? Tell me, Edison, number 1 and number 2.
You should have studied more.
Okay, number 2.
Number 2, you shouldn't have said this.
That. You shouldn't have said that. Okay, well done. Well done. That's good.
Repeat. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Repeat.
Edison, could you please
1
repeat?
and 2, please.
Okay, slow. What is slow? The first one is you should have studied more. Number 2, you shouldn't have said that.
Okay.
Okay,
Teacher.
tell me.
And this answer. Well, Omar said, don't be shy.
Yeah, of course.
Okay,
You're
teacher.
welcome to
This is
ask.
the way. This is the way.
Yeah, come on, argue with me. I like it.
I agree. Okay, number 1. Should have. The verb is participle.
Past participle, yes, it is. Study.
Okay. And a second have said is past participle too?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Tavares.
Always.
Okay, yeah. Okay, let me explain. The present, when the advice is in past, you have to use past participle. If it's in the present, you have the base, the verbs, the simple verbs. Right, teacher?
Yeah, the base form, yes. Here you have it here in the title. Actually, it says here, use the past structure. So everything here is using the past structures. So number 1, you should have studied more. And number 2, you shouldn't have said that. In both cases, we have a past structure. because we're talking about something that already happened. Okay, this already happened. If I say you should have studied more, it's because you didn't. If I say you shouldn't have said that, it's because you already said it. So there's nothing I can do about that. So I am here either criticizing or making a complaint. Number 3 and number 4. Él debió llamarme. Wow. Number 4. Pudiste hacerlo mejor. Let's see. Tell me, Omar.
Number 3 and number 4. Number 3. He should have called me.
Okay.
And number 4. You could have done better.
Okay, you could have done it
Repeat the
better.
number 3.
Repeat, sorry, Yeray. Honey?
Repeat number 3.
Number 3.
Uh-huh.
He should have called me.
Okay, call me. Okay, thank you.
Yes. The past and the past participle form is the same.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, well done. So, él debe llamarme. He should have called me. And number 4, Omar did it right, because here we don't use should, but instead we use could, as we saw in our previous class, because we're talking here about a possibility in the past. So
I say could.
yes,
Teacher.
you use that could.
Okay.
You did it right. Yes.
Okay.
So you could have done it better.
Better, yes.
You could have done it better. Okay. Here we don't use should because we're not talking about we're not criticizing or complaining. We're only saying that something could have been different. In this case, you could have done it better. So it's a possibility. Okay, let's continue with number 5 and number 6. Number 5, ellos no debieron salir temprano. And number 6, debimos prepararnos mejor. Tell me, Jadais.
Number 5 is they shouldn't have left early. And number 6, we should have prepared better.
Well done. Well done. So number 5, they shouldn't have left early. And number 6, we should have prepared better. Okay, nice. Number 7 and number 8, ella debió escuchar. And number 8, no debí comer tanto. ¿Qué problema? Tell me, Hanai.
7.
Yes.
Okay. She should have listened. And I shouldn't have eaten so much.
Well done. Number 7, she should have listened. And number 8, I shouldn't have eaten so much. Okay, number 9 and number 10, tell me, Tavares.
Number 9, you should have brought the document. And number 10 is you could have avoided the problem.
Okay, well done. Number 9, you should have brought the documents. And number 10, you could have avoided. In this case, we have that avoided. We have the verb avoid.
Thank you.
Okay, we have the avoid, but here the past participle would be avoided. So you could have avoided the problem. Okay, so that is the structure in the case of should and could, right? So our next class was about the obligation, the option, the permission, and the prohibition. Okay, so let's continue with our exercises. So here says complete the logs using the correct past constraint structure. Okay, so let's see how you did it. Number 1 and number 2. Tell me, Omar.
Okay, number 1, I had to work late yesterday.
Okay.
And number 2, she had to cook dinner.
Well done. Well done. I had to work late yesterday and she had to cook dinner. Nice. Well done. Number 3 and number 4. Number 3 and number 4. Tell me, Hanai.
Okay, 3 and number 4. 3. We didn't have to use our phones.
Okay.
Number 4. He had to wear a uniform.
Okay. Well done. Those are possible too. The structure is correct.
Okay.
The structure is correct. Okay, let's continue with number 5 and number 6. Some of you might have different answers. Okay, that's possible, and that's normal because this one is a little ambiguous. Then in the other one, which is less ambiguous and more direct, we can check out if you understood correctly the topic. But now we're only testing and evaluating the structures. Okay, Yarais, number 5 and number 6.
Okay, I have in the number 5 that they have to leave early. And number 6, I was not allowed to enter the room.
Okay, was not allowed to enter the room and they had to leave early. Okay, you can work with that. Number 7 and number 8.
I can do it with 7.
Okay, Omar, go ahead.
She has to study a lot, and we have to pay.
We had to pay. Okay, well done. And the last two, 9 and 10.
Me, teacher.
Okay.
9 and 10. He had to speak. They had to finish the project.
Okay, he had to speak. They had to finish the project. Okay, well done. Okay, this one is the one that's going to test, right? This one do test how good you comprehended the topic. Okay, so select the correct parameter based on the context clue, right? So, no era necesario. Which one is it? I didn't have to, wasn't allowed to go. Tell me, Omar, which one is it?
Number 1. I think the correct is I didn't have to go.
Yes.
Not necessary.
Yes, that's correct. And number 2, Omar, prohibido. He didn't have to, wasn't allowed to smoke.
He wasn't allowed to smoke.
Okay, well done. So remember that we use I didn't have to when things are not necessary, which means that it doesn't matter if you do it or not. Either way, it's the same. It is not something that is required from you. And in the case of number 2, the correct answer is, as Omar said, he wasn't allowed to smoke. Remember that we use allowed when something is prohibited. Okay, Jedi's number 3 and number 4.
Yes, number 3 is we didn't have to, and number 4 wasn't allowed to enter.
Yes. Excellent. Number 5 and number 6. Tell me, Tavares. Close
Number
enough.
5. They didn't have to leave. Number 6. I wasn't allowed to study.
Are you sure?
Number what is the number?
Number 5, number 6. Are you sure that those are the
Okay.
answers? Because I think you have them backwards.
Okay, number 5 is we weren't okay. Number 5 they weren't allowed to leave.
Okay.
And number 6 is I didn't have to study.
Okay. There you go. So number 5 is they weren't allowed to leave, which is a prohibition. And number 6, not necessary. I didn't have to study. Okay. Number 7 and number 8. 2 forbidden statements. Tell me, Honai.
7. We wasn't allowed to talk. And 8. We weren't allowed to bring food.
Well done. he wasn't allowed to talk, and we weren't allowed to bring food. And the last one, tell me, Jedi, number 9 and number 10.
Number 9, she didn't have to. And number 10, we're allowed to use phones.
Yes. She didn't have to work, and they weren't allowed to use phones. Pretty easy, huh? That's the idea, to remember that. When we use one structure for something that is not necessary, and when we use the other structure for something that is forbidden. Okay. So let's make this a little harder. Translate the rule sets into English past obligation structures. Okay. So number 1, number 2, tuve que trabajar ayer. Number 2, no era necesario estudiar. Let's see, how would you say that? Tell me, Omar.
Number 1, I have to work yesterday. Number 2, I didn't have to study.
Okay, very well. Number 3 and number 4, no estaba permitido usar el teléfono. Number 4, tuvimos que levantarnos temprano. Jedis.
Yes, number 3, it wasn't allowed to use the phone. And number 4, we had to get up early.
Okay, we had to get up early. Okay. Okay, yeah. Number 5 and number 6, no estaba permitido entrar. Number 6, ella tuvo que usar uniforme. Tell me, Honai.
Number 5, I wasn't allowed to enter. Number 6, she had to wear a uniform. Is this Anna? Yes.
Tell me.
She had to.
Yeah, she had to.
Yes, had to.
Yeah, had to. Okay, number 7 and number 8, no era necesario pagar. 8, no estaba permitido hablar. Edison.
Number 7, we didn't have to pay. Number 8, it wasn't allowed to talk.
To speak.
Speak.
I wasn't allowed to speak. Yes. Okay. And we have number 9 and number 10. Tuvieron que terminar el trabajo. No estaba permitido salir. Tell me, Omar.
Okay, number 9, they have to finish the work. And number 10, it wasn't allowed to go out.
Okay, we can say it wasn't allowed to, well, in this case, it's a person, so I wasn't allowed to leave. Leave is more precise. Okay, because go out is simply, it can mean different things depending on context, but normally it means something social. I want to go out. But leave is different.
Okay, I got it. Yes, it's correct. Go out is like get a seat, a date, something like that.
Yeah, a date, share with friends, have some fun.
Yes.
But in the case here, leave is pretty precise of I wasn't allowed to leave. Okay. Okay. Well done. That was your first set of homework. So now let's see and let's review to this afternoon's class. Okay, so far no questions about the previous topic. Is everything clear?
Is everything clear, teacher? Thank you.
Okay.
For me.
Yes, we see.
Okay, perfect, guys. Perfect. Okay, so here we have deductive reasoning, right? Deductive reasoning. Okay, in English, we have something that we call deductive reasoning. That is really fun. I enjoy it a lot. And it's when you make a deduction about something. Okay? You made a deduction about something. So we have 3 degrees of certainty. Okay? We have two that we are pretty sure that happened or didn't. And we have one for possibility. Okay, so let's see the first one, impossibility. Here we use can't have. Can't have. When we say in English can't have, we're saying that whatever is that happened is impossible. For example, she can't have done that. From my perspective, from my deductive reasoning, I don't believe that she is able to pull that off. Okay? That she was able to do it. So I say she can't have done that. Let's say let's talk about the vice president. We see the vice president. She looks like a really we can say serious person, polite person. So I don't see her as able to punch a person. And I am scrolling on Instagram and I read something that says vice president punch a woman. I don't believe that. For me, that is impossible because I see her and it doesn't match. So I say she can't have done that. That doesn't mean that my deductive reasoning is the truth, but that is how I see it. I might be right, I might be wrong, but what I'm expressing with can't have is that from my perspective, it is impossible for that to happen. So she can't have done that. Got it? Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay.
I got the idea.
Okay. So that is something that is impossible to happen. So we say she can't have done that. Okay. This is important because in English we can use can't for deductive reasoning, but we don't use can, the affirmative structure. So we say we only have can't. She can't, he can't, I can't, okay? But we don't say I can have for deductive reasoning. Okay, so we only have can't because it's absolute. We're talking about something that we believe can't happen. Okay, so let's switch now into the possibility range. In this case, we can use either might or may. Remember that might and may are normally interchangeable in many cases in English because they both have that future connotation, being might the one with the biggest connotation. But in a lot of cases we can interchange them. Okay. So when we're not sure about something, we say he might have missed the bus. It implies I'm not sure. Okay? It implies that I am not sure. I am deductive. I am doing my deductive reasoning about a fact, but I'm not sure. You see, when you're not sure about something, you say, well, she might have done it, or maybe she may have done it, but you're not sure. So you're not saying you are not saying she did it, but you are not saying either she didn't. You're saying maybe. That's a possibility. Okay, so we normally use might and may when we're not sure about something. We're 50% only certain about the action. And then we have the other extreme, which is must have, that we use for 100% certainty that something happened. So here we have this sentence that says she must have forgotten. There is no 1 degree of of doubt in my mind. I might be wrong, okay? But in my mind at that moment, there is no 1 degree of doubt. For me, she must have forgotten because she always forgets everything. So she must have forgotten. So I am 100% certain that she forgot that. So, can't have, something that is impossible for me to happen. Must have, something that I am 100% sure that happened. And might and may, something that I'm not sure, but it's a possibility. Okay? It's a possibility. So mental framework, used to explain situations, guess what happened, and analyze past events. You see here, guess. Es como adivinando, es decir, we're only making guesses here. That is from my perspective. I am guessing. I am analyzing past events. And from the information that I have gathered, I say, can't have, because I'm sure it didn't happen. Might or may, because there is a possibility that that happened. Or maybe I use must have, because I am certain that that did happen. Okay? So it's from the perspective of the speaker, of the thinker. We're not talking here about absolute truth. We're talking about my opinion, how I see it, how I analyze the situation. So far, so good. Do you have any questions? No questions?
Everything is clear.
Okay, thank you, Jarais,
Thank you.
for that. Okay, thank you. Remember, guys, if you have any questions, don't doubt to ask, okay? I don't know, is this the first time that you see these structures? Is this the first time? Can someone tell me?
No, for me, no.
Okay.
But
But during the course with the other teacher, you saw this? You studied this?
I think so. Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, teacher. I don't remember.
You don't remember?
Memory is like a pececito.
Okay. A little foggy there. Okay. It's okay. Okay. So let's continue, guys.
Teacher,
Yes.
I think that part of this case is it was part of the other course, but we can complete it. I think
Okay. Okay. It was part of the
we couldn't
program.
complete it. I think
Okay.
yes, the last pro.
Okay. I will send you.
I think I saw in the platform, but we can do it.
Okay. You couldn't do it. Okay. Okay. It's okay. I ask just to know if I have to explain something else, but it's okay. It's okay. We will see with the exercises. They always help us to get a better grasp of the topic. Okay, so here we have our first exercise that we will review on Wednesday night. Hypothesis generation. Formulate the correct hypothesis using the provided modal verbs. So here, this is pretty easy. You already have here the verbs you are going to use. The only thing you have to do is add the auxiliary, right? Okay. Number 2, these are my favorites because this is really, really helpful. Scan the context cue and lock in the correct degree of certainty. So, no está seguro which one is it. She must have, might have studied, imposible. He can't have, must have done it. Okay? Second exercise. This will help you a lot. And number 3, translate the deductive conclusion translate the deductive conclusions into standard English models. Él debe haber olvidado las llaves. How can I say that in English? Here I'm pretty sure. Ella pudo haber salido temprano. How can I say that in English? For example, él debe haber olvidado las llaves. How certain do you think that person is? 50% or 100%? How certain? ¿Qué tan seguro está esta persona al decir él debe haber olvidado las llaves?
100%.
Yes,
100%.
100%. So if I have to build a sentence using one of the passive structures that we just saw, which one would be the appropriate? Might have? Can't
Sorry,
have?
repeat again, teacher.
Okay.
He must have. He must.
Yes, he must have. Must would be the appropriate structure in this case because he is 100% certain. So he must have forgotten the keys. I'm sure. He always forgets everything. He's that dumb. For example, just to say something. Okay? So he is 100% certain. So he must have forgotten the keys. You see? Pretty easy, guys. Pretty easy and fun. Okay. In case you need it, the practice will be based on this, but in case you need it, I will give you links if you need to practice even more with this. One of the things that I found in my past as a student, I am still a student, right? Because we never stop learning. But one of the things that always helped me was to practice a lot with different exercises. At the beginning, the first time that I studied this topic, it was kind of weird because I wasn't used to this structure of deductive reasoning. And when you are doing the exercises, they want you to guess a lot. But you can go wrong. I mean, you have to guess, but you have to be right. Okay, so you need to understand from the lines they give you, which are normally 2 or 3 or 1, how certain is the speaker. So you get used to that, and you learn how to identify the cues in the sentences, and you just see the sentence and then you know the answer. But at first, it took some time. So my recommendation is that you do this exercise. I will send you a link from Test English, which is a page that I use to practice about this topic, and you will try it if you have, I don't know, if it goes well for you because you did everything right, that's perfect. If it didn't, it doesn't matter. You can see why you did it wrong because they give you an explanation in every exercise, in each exercise, about what is the correct answer and why is that the correct answer. So you learn that, and that will help you a lot. Okay, so that's one of my recommendations when it comes to the deductive reasoning in English. Okay, guys, so let's continue. Here we have collocations. Someone here remember what a collocation is from your previous class? Anything? What is a collocation? Why collocations are important in English? How useful can be collocations for us to be better at speaking English? Does someone know? Come on, don't be shy. You never saw collocations before? Is this the first time that you hear that concept? Collocations?
For me, the first.
Okay.
For me, it's the first time
Okay.
too.
Me too.
Teacher, maybe we see, but with that nouns, we don't recognize.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you for the feedback. Okay, so collocations are natural combinations, not random. Natural combinations. The key to fluent reporting. Okay, so Americans, they normally pair words in a certain way. Okay, they normally pair words in a certain way. So the way they have paired those words have become a rule. They don't follow a logical train of thought. Okay? It's just the way it is. So when you don't know collocations, you might be saying something that makes sense for you, but it doesn't make any sense for them because they don't say it like that way. For example, the verb to do and the verb to make, they mean the same thing for us in Spanish, right? Do, make, hacer. Okay, so you say, make my homework. I'm gonna make my homework. From our perspective, that is correct. But from their perspective, it is incorrect because they don't use make for homework. They use do my homework. You see that? So that is the idea of collocations, to know in advance what is the natural way of pairing words in English. So there is no, as I said before, there is no rule about this. Like, okay, this is how you structure them. No. We need to go to the vocabulary and we need to memorize them as they are. Okay? So we have to say, do my homework. Why? Because that's the way they say it. I'm gonna make my bed because that's the way they say it. Okay? So that is the importance of collocations. As you spend more time reading, you will know more collocations, and it will be easier to speak as a native speaker because you will get and you will know the words that they normally use to explain something. Okay? So here we have one example with the word problem, which is a rich word in English because it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 different combinations, 10 different combinations of the same word with different meanings. I'm going to repeat that again. So here we have collocations with the word problem, right? And all of them mean something different. So we have here have a problem, solve a problem, face a problem, cause a problem, deal with a problem, fix a problem, serious problem, big problem, major problem, small problem. So all of them have the word problem, but the meaning is different. Okay? The meaning is different. So what you are going to do is the following. You need to look for the meaning of these collocations in Spanish so you know what they mean. Okay? Because here you have a little exercise where you have to put the correct collocation according to context. So you read the sentence. We need to blank space the problem quickly. Which one is it? We need to cause a problem. We need to fix a problem. Which one fits best? Maybe in one sentence you have more than one option. We will see that on Wednesday. But you need to look for the meaning of the collocations first in Spanish so you know which one fits best in each case. Is that clear? Are we good? Yes? Okay. Okay, guys. Okay. We're almost at the end. So don't worry. Okay, here I have an explanatory image. For example, we have synonyms. For example, solve and resolve mean the same. Cause and create mean the same. Face and confront, they mean the same. Deal with and handle mean the same. And fix, handle, fix, repair, they mean the same. Okay, so Americans use fix for repairing, and they use fix for handling. I don't know if you remember in series, when there is a problem, when you're watching a series or a movie, they say you have to fix this. But they're not talking about a device, they're talking about a situation. So you have to fix the problem. You have to deal with the problem. Fix it. Okay? We can use fix for reparations. For example, if I was a tech guy, I could fix a phone maybe. Fix it physically. I can pull it apart and put it back together again and solve the problem. That is fixing. I need to fix my car. I need to fix my engine. I need to take the car to the mechanic so it can be fixed or something else. But the idea is that we have words that are synonyms in English, like fix, that we can use it for physical objects and we can use it for non-physical situations, in this case, discussions or problems. Okay, let's continue. Okay, so here we have the spectrum of obligation, mastering phrasal models for precise communication. One of the things that we have to pay attention to is how to be precise with our speaking. As more precise you are, the better people will understand what are you saying. So we have to do our best to be precise. And that is when grammar comes in, because it helps us be precise. Okay, so here we have the bridge between meaning and mechanics. We have phrasal models express precise human intentions. So in this topic, we're talking about phrasal models. Okay, we're talking about phrasal models. What are phrasal models? They function exactly like traditional modal verbs, must, should, but behave grammatically like normal verbs, allowing for flexible tense changes. Okay? So, remember, modal verbs are not flexible. You have a modal verb, it can be could, should, must, will, shall, any of those. They are not flexible. Modal verb, base verb. Modal verb, base verb. They are always in the same tense, all the time. But in the case of these phrasal models, they have that flexibility. We will see about that in a moment. This is pretty simple too, guys. Okay, so here we have the obligation dashboard. We have to, need to. Remember that have to with the preposition to is a modal verb. Need to with the preposition to is a modal verb. Okay, not the verb need, to need or to have. No. It's when it is followed by a to, have to, need to, supposed to, required to, expected to. Okay, so have to is an obligation, normally external. Need to is a necessity, normal internal. Supposed to is an expectation, normally from society. Required to is an obligation, formal, legal. And expected to is expectations, social or professional. Okay, let's break this down. The first one we have here, need to. Need to, we use need to for internal necessity. Indicates an internal, personal, or practical logical need. For example, I need to rest. When you say I need to rest, you're talking about an internal necessity. For you need to do that. I need to rest. I can say I need to study. That is an internal need. Do we need to bring anything? Practical necessity. Then we have to for external obligation. It means that the obligation doesn't come from inside, it comes from the outside. Indicates an obligation created by something outside the speaker, circumstances, rules, or laws. So it's not something that you imposed on yourself. Something else did it. Maybe it was the circumstances, maybe it was, I don't know, the rules or laws, but it doesn't come from you. For example, I have to work tomorrow. That is not a personal obligation. It is imposed by the system. I have to go to work. I have to work tomorrow. Or she has to wear an uniform. She has to wear an uniform. Here, you have the wearing, right? It is not your choice. It is not your decision. The company expects you to wear an uniform, and you have to. Let's continue. Then we have supposed to. Okay, let me go back a little bit just to show you something. Here you have the structure, right? We use subject, as you can see right here. Have, has, need to, plus base verb. We have it right here. Subject, have to, base verb. Subject, has to, base verb. Okay, after the to goes a base verb. Okay, don't forget that. Here you see that it changes. Remember the third person singular? Well, it applies here. She has to, because the modal verbs are always in the simple present. I need to rest, subject, need to, base verb. Okay, that is the basic rule. We have supposed to and expected to. Supposed to. Social, cultural expectation. Something that is expected based on general norms. You are supposed to arrive on time. You are supposed to be polite. It is something that is expected from you by society, by your family. Okay? So in the case of supposed to, we use the verb to be. You are supposed to. Always with the ed here. You are supposed to arrive on time. As you can see here, we use the subject, the verb to be, supposed or expected, to, the preposition, and base verb. So they have that in common, right? If you want to say a negative structure about this, you use not. You are not supposed to smoke. Okay? You are not supposed to smoke. Okay? You use the verb to be. Then we have expected to. Expected to. A strong expectation. A stronger professional or societal responsibility. Less strict than a legal requirement, but firmer than a general norm. So supposed to is less strong than expected to. Expected to is stronger than supposed to. So students, for example, are expected to study daily. He is expected to perform well. Okay? So, supposed to, expected to. They both share the same structure. They need the verb to be as an auxiliary, and they have to be followed by a base verb form. Okay? Here we have a past tense exception. This is interesting. Using word supposed to indicates something didn't happen but should have. For example, you were supposed to call me. If you were supposed to, it's because you didn't. Okay? Keep that in mind. And we have the formal mandate, required to. required. In the case of required, it is used strictly for official rules, laws, and non-negotiable requirements. Okay? Here we use the subject, the verb to be, required to, and base verb. So employees are required to wear ID. That is the stronger form of the three. So we have supposed to, the less strong, followed by expected to, followed by required, which is the stronger one. Okay? So it normally is used for official rules, things that are non-negotiable. You are required to submit documents. Required. So it's not optional. It's a law or a rule. Okay, before we continue, do you have any questions? Is this clear so far? Any doubts?
Maybe I have a question, teacher, but maybe it's not the moment, but I have the question.
It's
Can I do it?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Will you do? Will you share this material in the final?
I will share what? The what?
That material.
The material.
This.
Of
Yes.
course, I can share it with
All the presentation.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
I can share them with you. Don't worry. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes. Okay, guys. So tell me, Jarais. Jarais. Uh-huh.
The record is on the platform.
Could you please repeat because you're breaking up?
Right. Let's. Now?
Could you please repeat because you're breaking up? I couldn't hear what you said.
Hear me?
Yeah, now I can hear you. Could you please repeat?
I saw the last recording class. I don't know. Sorry. On the info there.
Okay. I think you are still breaking up, but I think you said that the last class is on the platform. Is that correct? Our last recording, our first recording is on the platform.
Yes,
Okay.
has a problem.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's okay. You don't have to apologize. It's okay. So I will. Yes, our last class, which was recorded as this one is being recorded, is on the platform. At the end of the course, as Omar said, I can and I will. You just have to remind me at the end. I will share the slideshow, the presentation, the whole presentation, so you can have it. I mean, my pleasure. Okay. So far we have seen have to, need to. Okay, have to, need to, and we have seen suppose, expected to, and required to. They share things in common, right? In the case of all of them, well, they have to be followed by a base verb form, and that is important not to forget that, because in your test, I took it a long time ago, but one of those phrasal expressions is present. So they put different options, and you might feel tempted to use a past simple verb maybe, but no, it's base verb. So try not to forget that. Okay, so the negative shift, optional versus prohibited. So remember that don't have to is because it's optional. You don't have an obligation. Don't need to, no necessity. So you don't have an obligation. Aren't supposed to, this is different. This is against expectations or rules. For example, you aren't supposed to be, how can I say? What can I say? You aren't supposed to behave like that. Okay? You aren't supposed to. So that is against expectations. You aren't supposed to use your phone. Okay? Aren't required to means not mandatory. Okay? Critical wording here, you mustn't go. Mustn't is different from have to. This is a prohibition, okay? In the case of don't have to, you don't have the obligation. But you mustn't go is a prohibition. You cannot do it. You don't have to go is optional. It's your choice. Never use don't have to when you mean must not. This is really, really important, okay? Extremely important. Not to forget that. Okay, so here we have, okay, this is, guys, why at the beginning the definition that we read said that these are flexible. Here you can see the flexibility. With no other modal verbs, you can do this. With no other, you can't do this. For example, in the case of have, it has its past form, I had to, or I needed to. The present form, I have to, I need to, but the future form also, I will have to, I will need to. In the case of supposed to, okay, required to, and expected to, happens the same thing. I can have my past tense structure. I was supposed to, I was required to, I was expected to. The present form, I am supposed to, I am required to, I am expected to. And the future form, I will be supposed to, rare but possible, I will be required to, I will be expected to. You see? So that is what distinguishes these modal verbs from the other modal verbs. Because the others, like must, should, will, they don't have this. But this one do. Okay, so almost at the end, guys. Bear with me a couple of more minutes. Okay, so system check, troubleshooting common errors, fix these mechanical glitches before proceeding. So she have to go is incorrect because in this case we have to use has because it's the third person singular. Remember that the modal verbs have to and has to are affected by the third person singular rule because these are present tense structure. He is supposed without the D, it is incorrect. You have to add the D. He is supposed to. I don't have go, it is incorrect because you're missing the preposition. I don't have to go. You have to use the preposition. You are required wear uniform. Again, you are required to wear uniform. Okay? Okay, so homework. Simulator level 2 error correction. Here you have to read these sentences and identify the mistake, the error. For example, she have to study. From what you gather so far, what would be the correct form of this sentence? She have to study.
She has to study.
She has to study. Perfect, Edinson. Because we know that for she we use has. That's it. You will do the same thing for the other sentences. Next exercise. Here you have to rewrite the input data using the required parameter. So you have to rewrite the sentence but using the verb they are giving you. For example, it is necessary for me to study. What would be the other form in this case using need to? Who can tell me? It is necessary for me to study. If I have to change that sentence using need to, how would you
I
change
need-
it?
I need to study.
I need to study. That's it. I need to study. Perfect. And the same thing with the other sentences. The last one, and maybe the harder one, will be this. Here you have an idea, company policy, doctor's advice, social expectation, legal rule. So based on this cues they give you over here, you are going to fill the blank spaces. Okay, so this is a way of making things easier, but also less ambiguous, so you can get a better grasp of the topic. Okay, in our next class, we will do this exercise, okay? So we will, because you need to practice your speaking too. So here you will have these words, the one that you're seeing now, and I will ask you instantly to build me sentences with those, with one of the options that we have right here. Have to, need to, supposed to. You don't know which one I'm going to use, so you have to be ready, okay? Okay, this is a synthesis, a summary of what we have seen so far. And in our next class, the topics will be food recipes. Eso está en español porque está en español el material. No sé por qué, pero está así. Vocabulario sobre hábitos y rutinas. Cómo explicar razones y condiciones utilizando unless, even if, as long as, in case, etc. Cláusulas de tiempo reducidas y phrasal verbs relacionados con el sueño y los niveles de energía. Esa va a ser nuestra próxima clase el miércoles. Así que va a ser bien fácil. El tema más pesado ha sido el que hemos visto ahora. Bien, chicos. Entonces, chicos, I will send you the pictures of the homework now to the WhatsApp group. Remember, you have a practice on the platform. You have until midnight to finish it. Okay? I will upload a new practice tomorrow morning about the topics we have seen this afternoon. Okay? And you will have until Wednesday at midnight to do it. Remember, this is a short course. We only have 8 classes left. Okay? 8 classes left. 10 in total, 8 classes left. Okay? So, if you don't have any more questions, this will be all for this afternoon. This class will be available tomorrow. Well, not tomorrow, later, like in 2 hours. It will be available on the platform and you can rewatch it as many times as you need to. You heard that? Need to. Again, a practical necessity. Okay, guys, it's been a pleasure for me. Have a really good rest of the afternoon and see you again on Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Goodbye.
Bye,
Bye.
teacher. Thank you.
Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye,
See
everybody.
you guys. See you, everybody.